The research outpost on Epsilon 9 was quiet that morning, too quiet for Commander Mara Hale's liking. The early shift usually meant clattering tools, diagnostics humming, and at least one engineer complaining about the recycled air, but today Mara heard something else, a soft sniffing. She turned, a small furry head round, amber-eyed, with twitching leaf-shaped ears peeked over the top of a crate. It was Ro, the youngest cub of the visiting Vurathi delegation, barely 3 feet tall, covered in russet fluff, and forever curious about the strange, soft-skinned humans. He blinked at Mara, then sniffed again. Mara raised an eyebrow. Ro, how did you get out of the delegation's quarters? Ro padded forward on digitigrade feet, tail flicking with purpose. I followed the scent, he said proudly, puffing his tiny chest. His language implant translated his chirps into smooth standard. What scent? She asked. He pointed at her mug. That one, Mara laughed. This? It's coffee. Ro tilted his head. Coffee? He said it like it was a secret code word for unlocking the universe. Mara knelt down and held the steaming mug, a short distance from his snout. Careful. It's hot. Ro leaned forward, nose trembling. He inhaled deeply and instantly froze for several seconds. The cub didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't blink, just stared at the mug as if it held galaxies. Mara frowned. Ro? The cub whispered, voice trembling in awe. Commander, why do humans drink anxiety? Mara choked on her own sip. It's not anxiety. It's wait, what does it smell like to you? Ro clutched his nose with both paws. It smells like danger, like the moment before a sky beast pounces, like sharp lightning and burning soil. He shook his head rapidly. Why would any creature drink something that tells the body to run for its life? Mara took another sip. Because it wakes us up. Ro stared at her as though she had just admitted to personally headbutting asteroids for fun. You drink fear, he said solemnly. No, Mara protested. It's not fear. It's stimulation. That is what prey animals say, Ro countered. Mara's face went flat. Excuse me? The cub sat cross-legged, tail curling around him like a ring. He spoke with academic seriousness far beyond his age. On Vurath, small creatures consume the leaves of the shiver root plant. He shivered. It tastes like panic. They use it to stay alert and flee predators. He pointed at her mug. You drink your version of shiver root? That's not, Mara began, then paused. She considered the mug, hot, bitter, sharp enough to sting the tongue, and yes, humans did drink it to force themselves awake in dangerous environments. Okay, she admitted, maybe it is a little like that. Ro sat back, horrified. So the rumors are true, Mara sighed. What rumors? That humans evolved from apex predators who became bored and began turning danger into beverages. Mara blinked. We did what? Ro leaned forward, voice dropping to a whisper. The Vurathi elders say humans are the only species who conquer threats not by running or fighting, but by drinking the essence of the threat so it cannot scare them anymore. Mara rubbed her forehead. Ro, we do not drink threats. The cub pointed at her coffee again. That smells like the emotional signature of a Black Ridge stalker about to lunge. My people would faint if they inhaled that too long. Mara sniffed the coffee carefully. She smelled roasted beans, warmth, morning comfort. Slight bitterness. She did not smell mortal peril. Maybe Vurathi senses worked differently. She lowered the mug. It's normal to us, okay? Humans drink it because it keeps us focused. It helps us think. Ro squinted. By flooding your body with simulated danger? Mara shrugged. Pretty much. Ro's jaw dropped open. You people are unhinged. Mara tried to redirect him. Look, Ro, humans evolved differently. We adapted to stress. Sometimes stress even helps us push through difficult tasks. The cub crawled closer and poked her arm. Commander, is that why humans go into battle singing? Mara blinked. Wait, you've seen footage of that? Yes. My tutors showed us the archive of the Battle of Lisa Perch. His ears perked straight up. The humans were outnumbered, surrounded, and facing artillery bombardment. And then you started chanting that strange rhythmic poem, We Will Rock You. Mara stifled a laugh. That's not a poem, it's... Never mind. Ro gave her the most unimpressed look a cub could manage. After chanting, your forces charged the enemy lines by foot. On purpose. While being shot at. This time Mara winced. We don't always make the best decisions. But you won, Ro whispered in reverence. Mara sighed. Yeah, we usually do. He looked at the mug again. Is this why? Because you drink liquid courage? It's not courage, Mara insisted. But was it? Humans did run headfirst into impossible odds. Humans did push through exhaustion, fear, pain. Humans did take bitter seeds from a distant earth forest and turn them into a ritual that fueled entire civilizations. It's something that reminds us we can keep going, she finally said. Even when things are hard? Ro considered that with a surprisingly mature silence. Then, very slowly, he held out a paw. May I try? Just a tiny bit? Mara jolted. Oh, absolutely not. Your heart rate would go through the roof. The medical team would murder me. Ro deflated. But I want to understand. Mara softened. She dipped her pinky finger into the coffee and held it out. One molecule. She warned. Ro touched the droplet to his tongue. Instantly his fur puffed out like an exploding dandelion. His tail shot straight up. His eyes went huge. By the stars, he squeaked. My soul is screaming. Mara burst out laughing. Yeah, that happens. The cub trembled violently, gripping her boot for stability. How are humans alive? How do you survive this every day? Practice, she said cheerfully, patting his head. After a minute the trembling faded. Ro sat down, exhausted from experiencing what humans casually drank before breakfast. He gazed up at her, voice small but full of wonder. Commander, is this why humans are feared? Because you willingly embrace sensations that would drive other species mad? Mara didn't answer immediately. She thought of her people, stubborn, loud, tenacious. She thought of how humanity had clawed its way into the galactic community through grit alone. She thought of every soldier who'd marched forward despite fear. Every scientist who'd pushed boundaries. Every explorer who'd stepped into darkness because curiosity burned stronger than caution. Maybe coffee wasn't fear. Maybe it was tradition. Maybe it was defiance in a mug. Ro, she said softly, humans don't drink danger because we like it. We drink it because it reminds us we're still fighting. Still moving. Still alive. Ro nodded slowly. That, he said, is the most human thing I have ever heard. When Ambassador Vuth finally found them 20 minutes later, he froze at the sight, the tiny cub sitting cross-legged beside Mara, proudly sipping a steaming mug of warm water flavored with a single microscopic drop of coffee. The ambassador sighed. Ro, what are you doing? Ro lifted his mug with ceremonial pride. Studying human courage, father. Mara coughed to hide a laugh. The ambassador stared at the mug. Then at Mara. Humans, he grumbled, are a hazard to galactic sanity. Mara raised her own mug in salute. Cheers. Ro sniffed his diluted drink again, fur fluffing slightly. Commander? He whispered. Yeah? I think I'm awake now. Mara grinned. Welcome to humanity's morning.